Welcome to Tablenauts. My name is Max.
I'm Doolin.
And we are back with our 20 through 11 best board games, favorite board games,
Top games.
of all time.
As of
today, which
Yeah.
is April.
2025?
Yeah, I was looking for the date.
I don't know.
Okay, good. Me neither.
6, I think.
My number 20 game of all time is Tammany Hall.
Oh,
By
it made the
Pan
top
Score
20.
Skate.
I'm so happy.
I debated about just yanking it, but we had
Well,
already
explain,
recorded.
explain.
Yeah, we'd already recorded our 50 through 30.
20 or 21.
Yes, thank you. And I debated about yanking this game out of the top 50 entirely.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it like that. But it is on our 20 by 5, which started as a 10 by 10. 2 plays into it. It was brutal for me. It felt like Kenny and Doolin, I'm not saying that's how it was. We can get into that all you want, but it felt like Kenny and Doolin versus Max. And I was just the first game was like a competitive game that they ended up taking me out right at the end. And I was like, you know what? I mean, that's how you got to do it.
I think it was Kenny 1, you 2, me 3.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I had a
was
horrible game.
heavy in the lead and you both attacked me, but like, that's fine. But then this second game that we played, I was eliminated in round 3. Like round 4 for me was literally like nothing. I couldn't do basically anything. So it wasn't like I was eliminated at the end of the game and just lost that way. It was like I was eliminated ahead of time, and that whole second era before, the whole third era, second era, third. God, I don't remember. The whole third
election
before the fourth election was basically you and Kenny just attacking me, not touching each other.
Yeah.
And you were just in your own spots, not worried about each other. And the end of that election year happened. I was not in a single space on the board. And you won like 8 and Kenny won like 11. And you all just won yours like without competition because it was just against me. And then I was wiped and I was like, okay, this is not fun.
I think going into the final age, the scores were tight, but it was very clear you were not, because you were winning. And that caught us up, but it was just like
4 or something like that. It wasn't insane.
I think you had played a good first 2 rounds. It's one that I've always thought I need to go for 1, maybe 2 of the factions and get everywhere that has those things. But that clearly, I've lost every game we've played so far, and I came close to that last one, but like even that strategy at its best, which I did probably the best I could with that, I still lost. Yeah. So like there is, you kind of have to, it's just like Root, right? Like sometimes you have to take some turns to hit the leader and maybe hit some factions that like force Kenny. I should have forced Kenny to spend some votes that he would have had to win certain sections. So I'm learning. And I hope that by the end of the 520 that this isn't off of your top 50.
Yeah, we still think it's all right.
Yeah.
Guess we'll find out.
I'm excited to play it with Patrick.
Yeah.
Which is a new buddy of ours.
We've only played it at 4 one time, I think. Most of our plays have been at 3 anyways. So this will be...
the dream would be play at 5. Yeah. I want to have all of the...
Gosh, that's going to be chaos.
All of the factions, all of the powers in at the same time. Like, that would be fun.
It'd be absurd. But what's your number 20?
My number 20 is, I don't know who it was by originally, but the glow up that we all know and love was by Awakened Realms, and this is Castles in Burgundy.
That low, huh?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, wasn't anywhere near my top 20 when we originally did this.
Okay, that's good.
I didn't... this game has grown on me over time.
I remember when I've always loved it, and I was talking to you about it. You're like, nah, don't care.
Yeah,
and it's coming around.
And I think part of that I'm swayed by pretty games, and so the glow up really helped it. Playing it with you, Jash before he left, like the new version with some of the expansions, like I was like, okay, I need to play this more. Like I need to give this more of a chance. And then since I've played it on BGA a ton. Yeah. But this is a tile placement game that I think is the thinkiest of any tile placement game, because each tile is pretty unique and all of them have vastly different things that can happen. But my favorite part about this game is the combos, right?
Mhm.
Like I can get this tile that allows me to pick up another tile, and if I pick up that tile and place it on this turn, then it's going to give me a whole other turn, or it's going to allow me to sell all of my goods, which is going to get me enough gold in order to buy a tile from the middle that I really need. And it's it's got race elements in it because you're trying to get certain colors all filled on your
Mhm.
board before other players. Like there's just a lot to this game that I think is makes it really replayable
Mhm.
and really fun every time I've played it. So
Totally. Yeah, and it's a game where like the tile placement in and of itself is kind of solitaire,
Mhm.
but the way that you need to attack the tile placement and the drafting of the certain tiles on the board is
Yes.
very much interactive. It's
Oh,
not a
100%.
heavily interactive game on the surface, but
Mhm.
like I'm constantly checking what other people are doing. How can I? Oh, he's one away from getting the points tile for the castles, and so am I. I need to snag that castle as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Just a lot of that.
I think people who are good at this game are very hate drafty with this.
You have to,
like,
be.
and same with Azul, right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're gonna be top tier Azul player, like you're constantly caring about what everybody else wants.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
yeah, great game.
My number 19 is a game I've not played in a very long time, yet it still sits at this high. I just have very fond memories of it, and it is now on our 5x20 or 20x5,
Ooh.
and that is Decrypto by Scorpion Mask Games.
Wow, this is high.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite party games of all time. I use the quotations there because it's like I think I've only ever played this with 4, maybe with 6, which I can say similar things about Monikers, which is again my favorite party game of all time, and it's just like it just works really well with that player count. But
I don't know if I've played it at 6 once and I didn't like it very much. Like the 6-player rules are a bit odd.
Yeah,
I think 4 is where it does shine.
It's great. I just have so much fun with it. It's just it's like I said, it's been so long since I played it, but I really wanted to get it on our 20x5 so I can get back to it because I just remember loving it, loving the way that you have to be like you ride the line of something that will make sense for your partner and will also not make sense for your opponents. And it's just such a fun line to ride. And then you have like trying to deduct or deduce what the other team is doing. Like, oh, your numbers are this because I can make the connection of red and Santa and something else. And it's just like I just have so much fun doing that little puzzle. So it's not a game I've played in a long time, but I'm eager to get back to it. I've never had anyone come away from this game not enjoying it in like a setting that you would expect that to happen. Like board game arena, whatever. But in person with people you like and know, it's a hit.
All right, my number 19. Man, this is a fall from grace. It was in my top 10. Maybe was it my number 1? Maybe.
What is it?
This is Zombicide as a whole.
It was your
but
number 1.
I'm putting Marvel Zombies as my favorite Zombicide of all time, and so it's filling the Zombicide spot. But yeah, number 19 for me.
I do believe that was your number 1 because it
Yeah.
was compared to my number 1 at the time was Death May Die, I think, and those were went at odds with each other.
And I will say, have not played this much since like last year. I've played it a few times solo. I like this game. Obviously I love it. Number 19. Like Zombicide as a whole is just a very fun like group co-op experience. The more we're playing Cthulhu Death May Die, the more I'm like, in a year, they might switch.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
Where was Death May Die in your top 50? Like 41 or something like that?
I think it was in the lower, like the high 30s. So like 37, 38.
Yeah.
I can't remember for sure. But yeah, I put it there before we started playing.
That's true. It is on our 20x5.
And
20x5.
Man, like, and we're almost done with it. So
Yeah,
like, which is sad. Like that was maybe my most sad thing.
We
that
still have
when
2
we
left.
switched.
We still have 2 left.
Yeah, but when we switched from the 10x10 to the 5x20, I was
sure.
like, we're not going to get to play Cthulhu Death May Die.
We can just play it though.
Yeah, we should.
Just play it.
Kenny got all the new stuff. Anyway, I'm talking a lot about Death May Die when I should be talking about Marvel Zombies.
No, it's fine.
But this is just like dice chucky awesome goodness, where each character, if you've really chosen your team well, complements each other in a way. Like one person might be really good at crowd control and taking hits, while another person's really good at dealing with the bosses, and another character is good at dealing loads of splash damage. Or maybe one player is just really good at moving around the board and they're sneaky, and so they're going to go accomplish all of the like things we have to do on the board before we win. Marvel Zombies I like a lot because in this iteration they've kind of perfected the art of not wasting your time,
Mhm.
which Zombicide Black Plague, as much as I loved it, it could get really drawn out for fun. You know, some people are like, I want to kill like 80 zombies on my turn by the end of the game. And that's awesome. But like you get to a point where there's not really a fear.
Yeah, no challenge. Yeah.
But Marvel Zombies has such a high, like heavy, hardcore ending that no matter how beefy you get, there's never going to be a moment where you're not going to get overrun if you just stay. And so you have to like balance killing versus accomplishing the task and then getting out. And that I love. So Marvel Zombies, number 19. We'll see where it goes after this. If they release, 4 more Zombicides by the time we do another top 50. I don't know.
Fingers crossed Death May Die comes out on top. My number 18 is a game that you also love. I'm not sure if you've said it on your list or not yet. I can't recall. And this is Babylonia by Ludonova. This is a really great tile placement area control game. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe.
One of my favorite things about this game is the fact that it scales so well at 2, 3, and 4. You cut off the map, but it doesn't feel like the game becomes less because of it. Sometimes you get games like that where like the thing they do to make it work at 2 makes it less of a game. That is not the case here. You're only tightening it up and making it a smaller area. I find this is a brutally mean game. It is one of those games that if you play it with people that have played it a lot and people that haven't, you will notice a big skill disparity there, which is both good and bad.
Yeah.
It's hard to introduce it to new people because of that. You will just destroy them. But at the same time, you want to be rewarded for playing a game enough and getting familiar with itself. So for me, I think Babylonia is one of, if not, without looking what's coming, I can't recall my favorite tile placement game.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just like such a fun, mean game that you can do, like you said earlier, a lot of cool combos and stuff like that, where you get a hand of all farmers and you're like, this sucks, but then you're like, wait a second, I see the vision here, and you can figure out a way to make that work for you. Because each time you draw, you are deciding, you have to be tactical and on your feet and decide how you're going to approach your turn with the tiles that you were given. So I just really love this one. I think it's super fun, super mean. But as you can see with inclusions of Tammany Hall and things like that, we often do enjoy those games
exciting.
Where we get up and personal with each other, for better or for worse.
This is I love Babylonia. Great. I'm so happy that it's Tammany Hall and Babylonia up here. I'm so happy, Max. Yeah. I'm so happy. I don't know. I feel like we since the creation of the pod and inviting Kenny and Kyle in, we've kind of like talked about how we might align more with one of them, but I think I align most with you, legitimately. Like deep down, like our favorite games are still very similar.
Yes, they are. That's true.
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right in the meanness. I didn't think about this as a tile placement game, but it totally is. I think so. Literally is.
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
I just expect, like, I considered it an area control game,
which
but
it definitely is.
You control with tiles. So
it's not a polyomino game by any stretch of the imagination, but it is still a tile placement.
I don't know. It's just like so different from Castles of Burgundy that like I didn't put them in the same vein, but they totally are. My favorite polyomino game at number 18. And that is Wild West.
That's what I thought.
Yes. This is by Paul Dennen.
Which is a crossover. Mine was 47.
Yes.
But it
pretty
is
low.
A crossover.
But you also said that was maybe your favorite polyomino game as well.
I
like
think
at
so.
that point. I just have it way higher than you.
Yeah, I think so.
But no, Wild West is... I put it in the same... Because Planet Unknown was also in my top 50. But I love that there are these... thinky, like combo-y polyomino games that are coming out where it's not just like what's the game I'm thinking of?
I know what you're talking about. The zoo one?
Oh yeah, I mean we could just say New York Zoo.
That's not even what I was talking about.
But
Isn't it also a zoo?
Yes.
What is it?
Bears, I don't know.
Beats?
Bears Beats. No. I don't remember. But either way, all of those games are like just about efficiently building out like the Tetris board, right? Whereas this is like, okay, that's fun, but what if we had like a deeper like aspect to this where as you're drafting something else happens, like there's tracks that get you points, and really like building out the polyomino board efficiently is smart, but you're scoring points through the ways that you're placing the tiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Planet Unknown kind of does that where you're going up the tracks, but Wild Wild West definitely does that where, these tiles might have sheriffs on them that shoot in certain directions. I can't think of all of the different things, but there's a lot of different like stores and like all of these different things that will get you more gold that you can, fly up this other track, and the higher you are on it than other players, you might score more points. And
yeah, love it. Great game.
Yeah.
My number 17 is Too Many Bones by Chip Theory Games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is maybe fallen a little bit.
He means Elder Scrolls.
That's tough, right? I mean, that's tough. I think I made this list before we had played through the whole of Elder Scrolls, and currently I am putting Too Many Bones here. Though, if I were to change one, they probably would come into like the similar slot.
Mm-hmm.
They are very different games, but they also share the bones of each other. And for me, currently, I think I lend the nod to Too Many Bones strictly because of its one-off nature. Just something that you can play in a night, call it done.
That's fair.
And that lends itself to my play style more often than not. But for me, I just think it's so awesome. I love the quirky characters, the interesting world, the fact that you're reading these little cards that don't have a lot of meaning to the game at hand, but just give you a little bit of taste of the world around them and the world building. And then you get to play with these awesome characters that do some incredibly cool things. You may find yourself guiding towards a particular character and a particular play style every time you play. That doesn't mean you have to. You can branch out and play one of the multitude of different characters they have, and you can branch out and try different styles in that same character. So I find it works for anyone. Someone who wants to feel comfortable with something they've come to love. Like if you want to play Duster and build up the same things every time, by all means, go for it. If you want to play a different character every time you jump in, or play each character 3 times to try and explore them in different unique ways every time, good, you can do that too. I just think it is a really wonderful game that is meaty and hearty, but at the same time, still dice rolling, chucking, fun. It doesn't like limit your luck in the sense that this is a big heavy game, but they still let you have luck. And I like that. There are going to be people that don't like that, that want their games to be mathematical, especially if you're spending that kind of money, that kind of time dedicating yourself to that game. They're going to not want something to be chosen by die roll. We're not those people. I love that bit of chance. I love the fact that I can fail and the fact that I can hit wonderful successes that just have these immense gratitude or immense gratifying feelings when you had it. And it's just, I love that for it. So that's Too Many Bones for me.
My number 17 is a game we played together. Some people might not think it's a board game, but I don't really care. I was trying to think of something else that was snarky to say, but I can't. Shatterpoint is my number 17.
Yeah. Okay, great.
It's amazing. It deserves to be in my top 20 spot. Or it's top 20 spot for me. I love this as a system. It's the first of skirmish games I've ever gotten into.
Yeah.
And
we had to stop playing Kill Team to start playing Shadow. Me and Kenny had to stop playing Kill Team because we were like, oh, we can get Doolin in with Star Wars. Fine, we'll do it.
And you guys tried for a while with Kill Team. Not that it didn't look cool, but like I've stayed away from skirmish games because of their expense as well as just the intimidation of them a bit. Yeah. But I mean, Star Wars did it. And I played it when it came out at Gen Con. And I played it with Jash. I played it with my dad even. And the guy was explaining how to play. And I guess that they taught these guys how to do this well because he worked for Atomic Mass. And he was just like, we want this to be as laxed as possible. So if it's like a millimeter difference, say you did it.
And that's kind of how we play.
Anyways. Yeah. And I liked that was their opinion. Like he was like, the whole point is to have fun.
Yeah.
So like if you're a millimeter difference between doing something cool and not, do the cool thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, awesome. So like I immediately took off okay, I'm not going to be playing with anybody who, like takes out their like bifocals and like zooms in and like makes sure like, do you have line of sight and like all of this stuff? Because it's not that kind of game. It's just a beat 'em up, like control command post. Reminds me of like playing Star Wars Battlefront as a kid. And the excitement, like the real strategy of the game comes from the way your characters synergize. And
for sure,
each character has a multitude of skills and, when am I going to use my force points and not? So I don't know. I like the fact that it's not a lot of let's get a yardstick out and stuff. But there's still a ton of strategy in this game. And every time I come to it, like there's new stuff all the time. And Kenny loves to buy them all and paint them.
Cool
and
locales.
And it's just awesome. It's so fun, and I love every time we played it.
Totally agreed. My number 16 game of all time is the second Mob Plus game on this list, which is Nana.
Wait a second.
Love Nana.
What was the first one?
Trick and Snipers.
Okay, I thought you were gonna tell me it was Trio. Like Trio was
no,
and you were just gonna lean into the bit. Lean into the bit that they're different.
I love Nana so much. It is such a simple card game.
So bad that none of these like small, like quick games that I play all the time didn't make it by top 50.
Letting the people decide.
It's not. It's the way that I form it. We'll talk about that another time.
All right.
But Nana's great.
It's great. It's so wonderful. It is quick, simple, easy. You can play it with people that don't play board games, that are deep into board games like us. We introduced it to Patrick, and he immediately went out and bought a copy of Trio because it's harder to get Nana. Yeah. So he has the lesser version, but it's fine. And he introduced that to his family, who also loved it. It is just such a delight. It's like a little memory game, but some strategy and trying to decide how you approach it, because something like Scout, where you can't manipulate or use the middle cards, it's like lowest number to high number, and you're asking on your turn, Doolin, what's your lowest number, what's your highest, yourself or any player around you or the board in between you, and you're just trying to get a trio of the 3 cards. Then you select it. When you get all 3 trios, when you get 3 trios total, or a wacky 2 trio if your cards decide, you win a game, and it's great, and it's just fun. You play a game in 10 minutes, and it's great fun. I've played it dozens of times and will probably continue to do so. I don't see it going anywhere. It's one of my favorite small box games out there, and it's just a delight.
16 for me. This might be an on-the-fly change. Hold on.
Oh, you heard it here first.
No, it's staying where it is, unfortunately. This is by Ice Makes Games. This is Terrascape. I love this game. I think if you had asked me a year ago or 2, I don't know, time flies. When a year and a half ago when we were playing consistently with Kenny and Josh, I would have told you easily in my top 10. Yeah. Like it is, with our group, some of the most fun I've had playing a board game. Yeah. But this is like heavily thematic horror. Yeah. It's not like actually scary. No. But like a horror genre game where it's 1 versus many. One player plays the killer in a haunted, I was gonna say haunted mansion, but there's actually a multitude of maps. Yeah. But really haunted mansion, because there's a giant mansion that separates the 2 players, and everybody else plays these kids that are survivors that are trying to escape the house alive, and they can do that a number of ways. They can call the cops, who will arrive in a certain amount of time from a radio that they can get working. You can get enough keys to be able to escape out the exit, which keeps the killer guessing at all times. Yeah. And it is so fun, and so like the best parts are when it's the killer's turn and you think you've put yourself strategically in such a way that they're not going to get you, and then all of a sudden they just randomly decide to go the way that you went, and they're standing on top of you, and then they decide not to look, and then you're like, holding your breath, or you happened to make a noise in a room, but you did so on purpose, and you are on the other side of the map now, and they run there and search, and you're like, nope, sorry. It's such a good cat and mouse game. And it's just, it's near perfect, for what it is, at least. And, I could go on and on about it, but I love it. Are we going to talk about it later? Maybe
we'll see. My number 15 game of all time is, I don't think this is like recency bias, but this is a game that admittedly next year could be top 10, or it could be not even in the top 40. Okay. And that is Arcs by Leader Games. Which is a game that I really, really like. Yeah. It is on our 20x5. And so I imagine it's going to be a game that after those additional plays, after we dive into the campaign, will either solidify itself as one of my top 15 games of all time, or we'll just have a monumental fall from grace where it's like, didn't work as long as I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
Because as it stands, I think it's great fun.
Yeah.
I love the introduction of the trick taking combined with the area control. I love the different leaders and lore and ability cards that you can get throughout the game that really just make every game wildly different. Like, you have a similar goal each and every game, but the way that you score based off the ambitions, the way that the cards come out dictate what you can do, makes each and every game that much more different, that much unique, and that much more unique. And so I just think that it's so satisfying being able to take what you're given, the crappy hand, the abilities that don't quite work with what you're trying to accomplish, the ambitions that other people declare that don't work for what you have, but finding a way to put it together.
Yeah.
And I think my win, I think I've won once, but amongst our group still eludes me. And so I'm excited to finally get that win one day. But I just have such a good time with this. It is wacky and weird, and a game that can, be super hyper competitive, or one person can just run away with it. And it's just fun every single time. It's grueling, and you look at your hand, you're like, what the heck? But it's a great joy to actually figure it out.
It's such a hard game to talk about too, because there's so much. Like, there's area control, there's trick taking, and then the way you score points. If I were to tell you, you could have the best hand, and you could have as many people on the board as you want. You could be everywhere on the board and score 0 points in your turn. Yeah, I would have told you like that. There's no way that game works, but it does. Like it really does, and it's amazing. And I have a prediction. I think this game will be in both our top 10s next year. Okay. Because of one reason, and it's because the app is coming out.
Oh, that's true
at
too.
some point. And we latched onto Root when we got a hold of the app, and I think this will be no different. Because I mean, Direwolf has proven that they can do an app really well.
Dune, Root, and now this. Yeah, I'm sure it'll do gangbusters.
Yeah,
it'll be awesome.
All right, my number 15. Solo game that I really want you to play, and I've talked about it with you.
I know what
a whole bunch. What is it?
Witchcraft.
It is Witchcraft. Yeah. Well done. This started out as Resist. And really before that, there was a game called Marquee that I think influenced Resist, but they're very different games. And then Resist came out. I don't think it did as well as they had hoped. And so they took a look at, I'm glad they did, because they took a look at a great game and they said, okay, how can we make, the theme a bit more approachable for everyone? And then on top of that, how can we add to the game? Like they pumped out this game that I was skeptical of, because I was like, I love the original. Like, why would I want another version of this? And they took a 9 out of 10 game from me and turned it into a 10 out of 10 game. Witchcraft is awesome. You play this coven of witches that are trying to convince this town of people, really 3 jurors, who have opinions of you that you don't know, and you're trying throughout the game to figure out how well you need to convince each of them to like you. And depending on how many of those jurors, by the time you call it quits, but because the game ends when you say it ends, you then check how many points you have convincing those jurors of whether or not they like you versus how much they hate you. And if it's, you've done enough convincing, then that juror votes to keep you. The other jurors might vote against you. And then that gives you an in-game trigger. I think if you get 1 out of 3, you fail. 2 out of 3, it's like they let you in, but like they don't. But really, you want that 3 out of 3. And then the ultimate victory is when you accomplish every single task. But that is a monumentally hard difficulty thing to do. Most of the time, most of your games will end with you seeing how many witches you have left versus how many are now in jail, and how difficult the tasks are that are ahead of you. Because at the end of a task, which is a full, like probably 5-minute turn, you decide, am I going to push or am I going to call? And that to me makes this game such a cool solo experience, because the gameplay itself is fun, but I think if it was just defeat everything, I would be kind of done with this the moment that I defeated everything. But because that's so difficult, that I never really push for that. Like I push enough and then call and then check to see if I won. And I just think it's awesome. The design is incredible, and I highly recommend it to any solo players. But one of my favorite games of last year.
My number 14 game of all time, just mentioned by you, is Ice Makes Air Escape.
Yay! Nearly a perfect crossover.
Almost.
I wish I would have brought it up. I
know,
thought about it.
I know you thought about it, and then you said it. I was like, oh dang.
You know what? I'm just kidding.
I love it so much. I think it is such a blast. It was probably like 11 or 12, but we haven't played it in a little bit. But I just think it's so delightful. I find it to be like, I don't think I should. It's like the party game of like hidden movement games. It's not a party game, but it's so like chill and funny. And like I contrast it with some of my other favorite games like City of the Great Machine or Mind Management, which you're like constantly on edge.
Yeah.
And though this gives you that, it's like, haha. It's like I'm on edge and it's hilarious.
Like,
whereas
even if you die,
like,
it's like, I had a good time. You
Yeah.
know, like, and we have a good time with all the games we play.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
like, this is still incredibly exciting. And even when I get killed, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh dang, that was kind of sick. like that was really cool.
And I love being the survivors and just like trying to communicate with your fellow survivors what you want to do without, like, how can I tell Doolin, I'm going to go here and search for a key, and I need him to do this without saying that. I mean, they're literally across from me, so I'm just gonna be like, and then once we confirm, I'll just be like, tap a few other places.
I do wonder, like, I've not read the rules in a long time. Is there any rules about like what we're allowed to say to each other and what we're allowed to do?
I don't recall, but I don't think so. It's just a matter of also giving it away to the killer.
Because we, like, for fun, like, at least me, I like to try to mess with Josh's brain a bit.
Yeah.
And like be like, hey, are you guys gonna go? We should go there and like that and that, and like saying that out loud, and then I do the complete opposite, like just to see if he like is trying to piece together. I don't know. It's so fun to mess with Josh as he plays it.
Totally.
Who typically was our killer. Yeah. Which when
Almost
he
always,
left, I was so sad.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh man, we're gonna have to wait forever to play this game.
I think you've played Killer once, and I've played Killer once. It is a game I think I prefer Survivor.
Me too.
But like the Killer is still great fun.
Says a lot about the game, because I think a lot of like 1v mini games, sometimes the one is like the coolest thing
Sniper
to be.
Elite.
My number 14 is maybe my quirky Doolin pick of the litter. You want to try to guess what this is?
I have no idea.
Yeah. This is one you won't be surprised when I say it, but like I doubt it's on anyone else's lists. And I'm not trying to say that like on anyone's top 20 ever, probably.
Because I was gonna say, is it? No, that can't be it. I was thinking like Sagrada, Poetry for Neanderthals, something like that. I have no idea.
Although Poetry for Neanderthals, I'd be surprised if it's on anybody's top 20.
Trailblazers? I don't know.
No, this is as a whole, all of these games together, Suspects.
Oh yeah, as soon as you said all of these games together, I knew. But
so Suspects is a series of games by Studio H, which they have. They're the American publisher or English version publisher of a French company making these games in French, and so thankfully they've published them to where we can play them too. Because I don't know French, and I'm glad they do, because this is the best mystery in a box game that you can play. Emily and I love to play these style of games, and we've played a lot of them. But Suspects is one that like I treasure, because we have to play it a bit differently. What I mean by that is that like most games approach it kind of like an escape room, where it's like, okay, like it might ask you this like cool question, but at the end of the day, it's just trying to give you a 3-digit code that you put into a lock, and then you open up something else and you get something else. But Suspects is a true, you are a detective dropped into a scene with a limited like fixed amount of characters that it could possibly be that committed a crime, and you are allowed as the player to search the all the surrounding rooms. You can choose to waste a lot of time in the study and search everything you want in that study. You can waste a lot of time talking to a few specific characters. And the game encourages you to try to figure it out in the most efficient way possible. And a lot of the time, it's not like just your cookie cutter, like, oh, you found the gun with so-and-so's fingerprints on it, and it matches the bullet that was in that person. Like, it's a true mystery of, okay, you got to figure out the motive, means, and opportunity of every single character. So you're going to ask them about where their whereabouts are and see where, like, they don't align with each other. You're going to ask them, or you're going to look at, like, how like the game describes their height and their bulkiness depending on how the character died, you're going to make some assumptions like, okay, well, if they were strangled from the back, then it's probably not the little Miss Old Lady, like so and so person, or if they were I don't know, shot in the head from point blank and there wasn't a sign of a struggle in the room, then maybe it was somebody that was close to them, it wasn't like a person that they were shocked to see and tried to get away. There's a lot of assumptions, but a lot of like real deduction that you have to do, and it makes really cool. Emily and I feel like real detectives. But Suspects, amazing, give it a try.
Yeah, that's awesome. My number 13 is the most not board game on my list, but it's worth mentioning.
Hey, back to back.
And that is Crokinole.
Oh, wow.
Which I just think is the best dexterity game ever. It is the most tactile and satisfying flicking game out there.
We need to play this more.
Yeah, it's so
we
fun.
Never play.
We used to play every single night after we finished recording or doing what we were wanting to do. Me, you, and Josh would just have like a 1v1 winner stays for like an hour. Something like that. It is just so
It was
great.
Always like a let's play for only like 10 minutes at the end of the night thing that turned into
40
an hour.
minutes later. Yeah. It's just so satisfying, so fun. It's a literal art piece on your wall. It is just something so unique and of itself. It is not anything like any other board games on this list. And though there are plenty of other dexterity games that I have really come to love, like Iron Forest and all those things, it's just like this one is pure.
That's fair.
It is the pure.
I mean, there's no theme. Like it's just it is what it is.
Block of wood and some wood discs
and some pegs
which everything's better. So I just love it.
Have you gotten your Karuka board fixed?
No, I have it, and I don't have the lazy Susan to fix it.
The one time we played it was really fun.
It was really fun. Yeah, it was just like trying to fix. Yeah, once we get that replaced, that'll rival it. I mean, it'll be up there as far as another great awesome. Dexterity game.
Yeah. I thought when you brought out Karuka for the first time, I was like, this could be our new Crocodile.
Yeah,
and then
I just got to get a lazy Susan to fix it. All right, I've been too lazy.
My number 13 is one you've already talked about, so I won't talk about it too much because Max was 100% right. It deserves to be in anybody's like list of games to play, and that's Babylonia.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Tile placement. It might be my favorite tile placement game.
Wow, would you look at that?
Tile placement. Yeah.
Okay.
It's our collective tile placement. It is table
close.
Is it not your favorite tile placement?
There's one.
You know it. It was my. Never mind.
They're going to be our collective tile placement games, one on one. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
great game. My number 12 was my favorite trick taking game of all time.
Oh,
and that is Skull King.
Oh, so I know what to love it.
I think cool. So. Yeah, I think so. Skull King's wonderful. It is so fun.
Rook.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a blast. Every single time we play it, it is hilarious. It is raucous and rowdy. We make sure, kind of akin to Camel Up, where you have to Camel Up. Like when you're playing Skull King, you have to go like, yo, ho, ho. Like you got to get into it. And it just makes it that much more exciting. Everyone's into it. Everyone's having fun. Each time you play a card, it could be this dramatic reveal of, oh no. Yeah. Like it's just this big grandiose event. I personally love the hilarious cards like the Kraken. One of my favorite cards in Skull King, which Kenny absolutely hates, the Kraken.
It's awesome.
I killed one of his perfect games with it. He was like had everything planned out. It was the last card of the hand, and I was just like, he got so mad, and I had so much fun. Skull King is just a absolute riot of a time, and without a doubt, one of my favorite trick taking games.
Yeah, it's like poker meets trick taking for me.
It's so good.
Like there's no perfect information. Like you have, it's awesome. It's incredible. Deserves its spot. What is my number? Next one.
12.
My number 12. Is Skull King.
Hey, we had a perfect crossover. Baby.
That's awesome. I was like, I think that's my number.
That's awesome.
One. But yeah, no, Skull King's awesome. It is one that I have a good time with you guys, and I have a good time with anybody who is like new to the hobby. Like I've never had a really bad experience with Skull King. So great game. Love this game.
I'm having maybe switcheroos between my 10 and 11
right
now.
And that's important because that's a whole other video.
I know, that's big deal. I'll just keep it. I'm just going to keep it as is. Is. Yep. My number 11 game of all time is Kingdom Death Monster.
Okay.
I love this game so much so I just contemplated moving it into my
Yeah.
number 10, and maybe I'll regret it after this.
This was in your top 20. I don't remember where, but it's been here for a while.
I think it was top 10, but yeah, it's been here for a while. It's a game I owned a long time ago, played it a good bit, and then kind of just went away from it for a very long time, and then I was able to reacquire it, and I haven't played a ton since reacquiring it, but I've played a couple of times, and I love it. I know a lot of people
We've
don't
played
like
for a
it.
few hours, and had some really fun. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be funny. But we've made it funny.
I made it. Yeah, absolutely. Man. It's funny. Yeah,
we've named all of our characters after like celebrities,
movie stars. Yeah, movie stars.
And they're all having babies.
Yeah, Angelina and someone else got together, and yeah. It's just I just have such a good time with it. It is that kind of contrast of this very serious, in a way, sexual kind of material, and then like hilarious die rolls. Oh, my head's chopped off like instantly, or we just got this like super baby, like they're super strong, and their first battle in the field, it's like they lose their arm, and it's just like this there's craziness.
There's intimacy rolls where you have a chance to roll and both of them die.
Or have a super baby. It's like it's just so fun
for that.
I love it. I love the settlement events where you're just like some mysterious like craftsman walks into your settlement and you're like, I don't know, do I like push my luck and try and get something cool out of him but attempt fate? Or do I just like let him walk on his own way? There's just so many different elements to this game that are weird, fun, and exciting. And if you know me, you know I love that like cosmic horror, which this has very fun and interesting lore behind it. Like all the characters look grotesque and eerie, but it's just exciting all the same. This will probably always be one of my favorite games of all time, just because of what it is and the promise of it all. And it can be played solo and with friends. And it's like we mentioned earlier, it's like that element of die rolling in a very serious and like grandiose game, that each die roll can have this weighty gravity of decision upon it. But it's just like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to play this game with perfect information. I want the die to dictate the story in a way. And it's a story that you're going to go from start to finish, and you can just restart. And you make it 6 years this time. You die to the butcher. And you're like, well, next time, I now know how to play the butcher better. It's almost like a roguelike in that sense, where 100%. You learn something as you play that you can then take into your next game as well. I think it's just really delightful. It's also a painter's dream. If you like hobbying and painting, I mean, there's wonderful models you can put together and paint. I just think it's great. I'm always excited to find new things and discover more about it, and it will always be something that I love to go back to.
I think if we, like in a perfect world, well, I shouldn't say, I was about to say in a perfect world where Tablenauts doesn't exist, but like in a perfect world where we're able to have as much time as we want for gaming, we would play this a lot. My number 11, which is the final one of this video, is one that I think could rise. It's just, I don't know. We don't play it enough. It should have been on our 5x20, and it's not. But the game that I just put, like, I edged out like slightly, is above it. And that is El Grande. It's one of my favorite like recent played area control games. And last year, I think after like one or two like in-person plays, I was just like, this is like one of the best games I've ever played.
It didn't even make my top 50, but you've played this a lot more than I have.
Oh, on BGA, I've played it a ton.
Fully admit it could be in top 50 eventually, for sure.
And I think if you are an area control fan and you don't like a lot of randomness, like there's no die rolls, it is simply choose a card, and depending on which card you play, you'll get to reinforce yourself a bit, versus getting some power to choose first on a list of cards that are out that affect the board in some way. Like some of them might cause other players to remove some of their board pieces off of the Spain board. Some of them might allow you to, not only place on the board, but also place in the Castillo, which is a really fun like reveal at the end of how many people have put, their meeples in there. And then on top of that, once that gets revealed, you get to choose on this little wheel where all of those characters from the Castillo are going to go. And simply at the end of each age, depending on if you have more people in an area than another person, you will score more points than them. And it's fun. It's a blast. We had a great time playing it. And then like the remake of it is just way more pretty than the original version. And so I love this. I think hopefully it will stay here, but I think if we don't play it, it'll slowly lower. But this is a gold standard when it comes to area control, in my opinion.
All right.
That is it.
On to the top 10.
And
we'll see you next episode.
10 more.
10 more games
Love you
of
guys.
all time.